and we watched this movie, and the takeaway that I had for the success of this movie and whether or not it should go wide, because we got slips of paper because we're coastal elites and we went and saw this movie on Saturday night, opening weekend, in one of the 9 theaters it was playing at. And we were given a survey to take for the filmmakers to peruse in order to figure out how they're going to make this movie go wide, or if they're going to make this movie go wide, right? So we had some say in this.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I would say, and I did say on this survey, is that this movie is anti-concessions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that is really not good, right? Because concessions are the lifeblood of theaters. And that, if you are a movie theater chain, you do not want a movie that so strongly makes people against candy bars
Yes.
and pizza
Yes.
and the fundamental things that make theaters run. Right?
Yes.
There's a scene
Yes.
in this movie where eating 2 Three Musketeers is like a breaking point, is like the most disgusting thing you could do. And that is not a message I would want a movie playing in my theater to have.
No. No. There is a shot of candy. It's all about the filmmaker's POV, and the camera hates the candy in this movie. There is a shot when a character opens a drawer filled with candy, and you would think someone had just opened a drawer and had found uh corpses in there.
Well, it's like a
Had opened a
trap, like a
drawer
saw
and
trap. Like
yes,
it was shot, and the music was like a saw trap when
yes,
he opens
yes,
the drawer and there's a bunch of candy in it. And
yep,
it's like, and then doubly, it's like, I know what you're saying out there, but Clayton, people buy concessions before they go see a movie, so it's not going to matter. No, no, no. Here's what happens with this film, also on a different level, is that people are not going to want to eat during this film.
mm-hmm,
Okay? Those are just
mm-hmm,
the facts. I'm not commenting on anything else. I'm just saying that they're not going to want to eat during this film. So they walk in, they've got their nachos, they've got their sody, they've got their
juji fruits,
jujubes. Yeah.
yeah,
They're sitting there, previews. It's going good. It's going good. Movie starts. They're like, I'm going to return this. I need to return this food.
right.
So you're going to get a lot of food returns, which you can't resell. You just can't. You can't resell a open box of Juji fruits.
There's no street value on those.
And then the word of mouth is going to be, if anybody recommends this movie, which that's up in the air, don't buy any concessions
Right,
because you won't eat them.
right,
That is death for a theater.
right,
So
right.
if I'm a theatrical chain, I'm saying, hey, I don't want this movie in my theater because concessions are what keeps this place going and the lights on, and we already have enough problems in theatrical at the moment.
Right, right. This movie is just a damning portrayal of candy and of food in general. And if you were a theater owner who's sitting in the back of the room watching this movie, maybe for the first time in your own theater, and you're watching people watch The Whale, and you're watching people look at this horrific portrayal of food and of snacks, and the way that the filmmaker clearly wants us to hate snacks. Again,
Mm-hmm.
the shot of the Three Musketeers and of a character eating Three Musketeers as if they were basically being put to death is something that must make theater owners just their eyes roll to the back of their heads, must make them angry, must make them scared, because
Mm-hmm.
it's going to make audiences hate concessions. And the Whale doing big business or doing good business may be a double-edged sword, because the theater owners, they want that ticket money. But if the Whale gets bigger, and if the Whale travels further and further, and if the Whale goes wider, it could be a negative ad campaign for concessions. So if you're a theater owner, at this point, you might be rooting against the Whale's success,
Mm-hmm.
because at what cost does that whale success come for your concessions?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll follow this story because there's a lot of me that thinks that this initial burst and the fact that this movie is getting such good numbers in such small theaters is that it's a looky-loo situation. You're getting a lot of
Yep.
looky-loos, right?
Yep.
Everything Everywhere All at Once became a hit, and it started slow, and it started slower than I thought it was going to. And I knew it was going to break out, but I thought it was going to break out sooner than it did. But this movie is not a grower. It's a shower.
Yep.
And
Yep.
I think we're gonna see that. And this movie is probably not even gonna go wide because I think A24 doesn't really know what to do with this movie. And it feels to me like it's gonna be in a few hundred theaters and then PVOD. That's the inkling I got from the questions they were asking us on those surveys.
Yeah.
So we'll see, Pat. We'll see. We're
And
gonna be following the whale
mm-hmm.
like Captain Ahab.
Yep. Tracking it.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully the whale does not lead us to go crazy and plummet to our deaths. But you never know. You never know what any of these movies. It's all a crapshoot. Based on the audience response from the screening we were at, I am not confident, like you say, that the whale is going to go very wide. It did not seem to have that rapturous. Let's just say, this was not the Venice Film Festival 48-minute standing ovation or whatever that was. That's not what happened when we saw the whale this weekend. There were some disgruntled exiting theater goers, and not just because they didn't feel like eating their candy.